I was born in Tijuana, Mexico. And at the age of 6, my family brought us to the United States as legal permanent residents, where I grew up in Southern California in Riverside County. Family life was, a regular, normal Mexican family, with a lot of love. My life after high school, I was able to land a job at Aeromexico Airlines at LA Airport. It took me about 16 years of employment, all the way up to becoming airport manager at LAX. After my stint there with the airline, about 2-3 years, I started, I had started to experiment with recreational drugs. And eventually I ended up getting hooked on drugs. Things started to get out of control, and I ended up getting in legal trouble for drug use, and which eventually ended up getting my legal permanent residence revoked and deported. We went through the court proceedings. I very clearly, immediately told my public defender, I said, I've got a drug problem. I want help for my drug problem. She came back with 2 plea deals. One of them was to go to state prison. And I told her, no, if anything more than 365 is going to render me deportable. I can't do that. So she came back with another plea deal of a county year with a recommendation to the drug program. What she failed to tell me was that plea deal, the charge she wanted me to plead guilty to, was not only an aggravated felony, was a trafficking charge. And therefore, there was no relief period whatsoever. So as soon as I got back to the detention center the next day, ICE was there to pick me up and put me in removal proceedings. The time I got arrested and I got put in removal proceedings, I stopped using drugs, I stopped using alcohol, period. That was like the super wake-up call. And, when I got off that bus at the border, I had a very set goal, what I wanted to do, and I was going to pursue it, and I did. However, 4 months later, I found myself still unemployed. I couldn't even get a job as a parking lot attendant at that time. So, needless to say, there was an opportunity to return back to the U.S. undocumented, and I took that chance. So I came back, around May 2003, and I just dedicated myself to working and taking care of my family until one day in 2011, ICE, they drove up to my job site where I was at. They had a reinstatement of deportation order. And at that point, they took me into custody. This time I had a better plan for employment. So a month after I arrived, I was employed. I was working for a call center. Started going to several churches. One day walking out of church, I saw a sign on the door that said deported veterans. I identified with the struggle of deported veterans as my family, and I started getting involved. So the more I started to get involved, the better I started to feel about myself. toward the end of 2016, I believe, Jenny Pasquarella from the ACLU came down to do interviews with some of the veterans. I was very fortunate that she accepted to review my case. And on review, she said it was a very long shot, but she thought that it was worth a shot. When they finally filed in court, the reason they finally were able to file was the passing of Penal Code 1473.7. That is what opened the door for them. From there, it went The appeal went to the California Supreme Court, and the response back from the Attorney General's office was conceding error on the part of the appellate court and the Superior Court judge. And so on May 2nd, 2021, the California Supreme Court vacated or issued the order to remand to vacate the charge. And from that point forward, things moved really quick. After that, it was just a very short time before the Board of Immigration Appeals was able to review my case and dismiss the case and restore my legal permanent residence. The day in the morning, November 11th, I was excited, but again, very, very cautious. I got to the port of entry. I showed the officer there at the gate my documentation, and when I finally understood that it was over, that I was coming home, was when he stamps the visa waiver and tells me, make sure you don't go back to Mexico until you get your green card. That point was when I really felt it. I was like, I'm home. To see the amount of friends that were there waiting for me, holding signs and so forth. And seeing my son there waiting for me was just incredible. When I was leaving, I told everybody there that was seeing me out that I was going to be back for them, and I meant it. This isn't going to end. I've got to continue that. My hope for the future with immigration is to finally the U.S. government come to a just immigration reform bill. The Way Forward Act, that's the best immigration reform bill that has probably come in all times. That is something that I want to continue to advocate for.